Waiting for him to. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Shaykh.
السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام.
آسف جدا يا شيخ.
أنا continue. Shall we continue?
Huh? Yep, we're good.
We continue?
Now, I can hear you. Yes.
So,
Now.
as we said, the month of Sha'ban is a month that comes between Rajab and Ramadan. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ used to give it high concern. And as he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to Osama ibn Zayd that it is the month in which the deeds are raised, the records of deeds are raised to Allah. And I like, or I love that my deed be raised while I am fasting. While I am fasting. And so he sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to fast most of this month, as in the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, who said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to fast the month of Sha'ban. He used to fast it all except for some days of it. And this preparation requires things to be done before Ramadan, such as preparing yourself upon taqwa, upon piety, because the month of Ramadan is month of fasting, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned taqwa in the ayat that he mentioned fasting in. As in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 183, Allah there said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. All you who have believed, it is obliged on you to fast as it was obliged on those before you, so that you might be upon piety. And to be upon piety, to be pious, it means you have to refrain from things which are which could minimize the taqwa, the piety in the heart. As in the hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة بأن يدع طعامه وشرابه. He whoever does not abandon and avoid the false speech and the false actions and ignorance and arrogance, then Allah is not in need for him to abandon his food and drink. And this means that you have to exercise sincerity, and you have to exercise honesty. Also, from the preparation for Ramadan, before receiving Ramadan, is to have your good kinship relation, as in the hadith that Abu Hurairah reported as in Sahih Bukhari, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خلق الله الخلق فلما فرغ منه قامت الرحم فقال مه. When Allah finished creating all creation, the womb stood. Then Allah said, what? Said mah, meaning what? قالت, then the womb said, هذا مقام العائد بك من القطيعة. He said, this is the position of the one who seek refuge with you from the abundance and boycotting. فقال ألا ترضين أن أصل من وصلك وأقطع من قطعك. He then, Allah the Almighty, said to the womb, don't you agree or don't you be happy if I have connection to those who have good connection to you and I cut those who cut you? قالت بلى يا ربي. Then the womb said, yes, oh my Lord, I accept it. قال فذلك لك. Then he, Allah Ta'ala, said, and that is for you. Then Abu Hurairah said, recite if you wish, meaning the ayah of Surah Muhammad, ayah 22. فهل عسيتم إن توليتم أن تفسدوا في الأرض وتقطعوا أرحامكم. Will you, if you are given the authority on earth, destroy on it and have your have your kinship broken? So for preparation of Ramadan, you have to have good kinship with your relatives. And also from the preparation of Ramadan is to have your heart, your chest free of hatred towards Muslims for dunya, for this worldly life affairs. As in the hadith reported by Ibn Majah and authenticated by Albani, the Prophet ﷺ said, or it was said to the Prophet ﷺ, who is the best amongst mankind? He said, كل مخموم القلب صدوق اللسان. They said, صدوق اللسان, we know. He said, every مخموم القلب, who is honest in speech. The Sahaba said, O Messenger of Allah, the one who is honest in speech, we know. We know him. We know what it means. But who is the one مخموم القلب? What does that mean? قال هو التقي. He said he is the pious one. النقي, the one who is clean from inside. لا إثم فيه, there is no sin hidden in his chest. ولا بغي, and neither there is aggression against others. ولا غل, no hatred. ولا حسد, and no envy. So you have to practice now to get free of all these bad manners. And from the preparation for Ramadan is to minimize the time used on social media or on media generally or on other things, and use it in worships, in reciting the Quran, in doing a lot of dhikr, in sitting in the circles of knowledge and the like. So that when Ramadan comes, it finds you ready to use its time in that which is valuable. And also from the preparation for receiving Ramadan is to make up the days you missed from last Ramadan. Do not delay them. Do not do optional fasting before you do your obligatory fasting, especially the women who usually break the fast for menses or pregnancy or breastfeeding, and then they delay until Shaban comes. Now you have to be serious and do the days that you missed from last Ramadan, and also get prepared by getting used to recite Quran these days as much as you can, especially in the night prayer standing. Recite as much as you can. As Ramadan is the month of Ramadan, of Quran, and in Ramadan, the congregational night prayer is legislated. And also, from the preparation is to start from now until Ramadan, using time to do supplication for yourself, your family, your friends, your shuyukh, your like that. And also from the preparation is to start now getting used to stay in the masjid, especially between the prayers that have no much time between, like Dhuhr and Asr, Maghrib and Isha. And when you are in the masjid, you get use of the time in dhikr of Allah by reciting Quran, by dua, by other dhikr, and avoid non-beneficial speech and jokes and like that. And avoid the mobile phones and social media. Also, from the preparation is to fast in the month of Sha'ban, as we said earlier. And Ramadan is the month of fasting, and fasting means hunger and thirst and abundance of desire. This makes you remember the poor people. So start now feeding poor people, even of little, but do not abandon the feeding others. And in Ramadan, you will have a great opportunity to feed those who are fasting, even with one date or cup of water, as in the hadith reported, by Zayd ibn Khalid al-Juhani, that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "Man fattara sa'iman kana lahu mithlu ajrih." Whoever gives something to the one who is fasting to break his fast with, then he would be given similar reward to the one who he gave food to break fast with. And also from the ways of preparation is to visit a sick person, to go visit the graveyard, and do as much as you can of this, and to give out sadaqah, general sadaqah. And if you are planning to go for Umrah in Ramadan, which equals Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ, then you have to prepare from now. You have to prepare from now for that, financially, and also by asking permission if you are an employee to go and book your ticket, plan everything, book your hotel, so you get ready. But do not leave your family with no any support and no financial sufficiency. And also from the preparation for receiving Ramadan is to minimize eating food these days. Eat just enough to get strong and go for work. Do not now look for food for its taste or favorite food or something like that. Just take that which makes you live and strong enough to worship and work, and that's it. Do not dump a lot of food into your body, because this will make you lazy. And in Ramadan, you need not to eat too much. So if you are not prepared from now in Ramadan, you will eat just a lot by the iftar and all night, which will make you lazy of using the time of Ramadan in worships. Also, from now you get use of sleeping early in the night and wake up before Fajr at least 1 hour and do a lot of prayer as much as you can. Give some time for supplication, seeking for forgiveness, as in the hadith that Allah the Almighty comes and every night comes down to the first layer of heavens in the last third of the night and says, is there anyone who is supplicating, so I give him what he wants? Is there anyone who is seeking for forgiveness, so I forgive him, to the end. And also from the preparation for Ramadan now is to manage your time. Make time for work, time for prayers, time for recitation of Quran, time for like that. Both men and women, and the husbands should help their wives by not asking them to do a lot of food which will make them spend long time in kitchen. Just little, and advise your wife, please do not cook much food in Ramadan. Free yourself to recite the Quran and seek for forgiveness, supplicate for yourself, for your family, for all Muslims, especially those who are suffering these days and in their countries from turbulence and problems and terrorism and whatever, wars. And also those who and from now start doing a lot of dhikr, as the Prophet ﷺ said, make your tongue wet of the remembrance of Allah. And also from the preparation for Ramadan is to buy now in Sha'ban all that what you need in Ramadan. So in Ramadan you, if not abandoning the markets, at least you minimize going market to save your time. Do not leave the marketing of grocery or whatever of Ramadan until Ramadan comes. Buy them now so that you free yourself in Ramadan. And make a program for your family to sit with them, recite some ayat, and you can read the translation of the interpretation for them, simplified for them, or at least read one hadith or two hadith and explain them if you know, or at least read explanation of this hadith and interpretation of those ayat for them, so that you teach them something good in their in the month of Ramadan, and proceed to everything that is loved by Allah, as Allah said in Surah Al-Imran, ayah 133. وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين, and proceed to forgiveness from your Lord, and a paradise that's width is as the width of the heavens and earth, prepared for those who fear Allah. And here Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, ayah 26, وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. And in that, meaning in the different ways of worship, let those who compete to compete. May Allah Ta'ala make us from those who prepare well for the month of Ramadan, and from those who fast in these days in the month of Sha'ban, and make us from those who receive Ramadan with high piety and morale and eagerness to do all that which is good. And may Allah Ta'ala make us in Ramadan better than us before it, and make us after it better than us in it, and accept all our good deeds and forgive us in all that shortcomings or or sins that we committed. Wallahu a'lam. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.
Jazakallah khair, barakallah feek, ya Shaykh.
Ameen, ameen.
Shaykh, would you take any questions, one or two? I know it's late.
Yeah,
I don't want to keep you.
Yeah. No problem. Go ahead.
Alhamdulillah. أحبك في الله يا شيخ.
أحبكم الله الذي أحببتونا فيه.
طيب. دقيقة إن شاء الله. This is the first question, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The first question, yeah, Shaykh, as regarding to the Taraweeh, is as far as reading from the Mus'haf, if you're following the Imam, what is the ruling or the permissibility of holding the Mus'haf if you're the person who, like let's say there's no one who is Hafiz of the Quran or may not know those surah, those ayat, is it permissible for them to hold the Mus'haf while behind the Imam of the Salat?
طيب, let's first of all do the fundamental answer of it. Carrying the Mus'haf in the prayer, whether you are Imam or by yourself or following the Imam, generally that is not from the Sunnah. Okay? But if you are the Imam and you do not memorize much Quran, you are allowed to carry the Quran, the Mus'haf. If you are the Imam and you memorize, but no one behind you memorizes the Quran, so you may make mistakes in the ayat, and you want someone to follow you and correct you. So you assign one person, one individual, to pray behind you and carry the Mus'haf, so that he can correct you whenever you make mistake. But generally, it's not for people to carry the Mus'haf in the prayer, because this is an extra movement that reduce the reward of the Salah and may invalidate it, because the excessive movement is not from the things that are allowed in Salah, and it may invalidate the Salah. So we brief the answer. If you are assigned or delegated by the Imam to carry the Mus'haf so that you correct him, then you have to pray behind him so that he can hear you when you correct him, and you are allowed to carry the Mus'haf. Other than that, no. Now.
Barakallahu fiqh, ya Shaykh. The second question is for those people who may be during the month of Ramadan unable to fast due to some sickness or illness, but that sickness or illness is not like for a lifetime, right? And it's just this particular time. When do they have to make up for that month, or are they able to feed a fasting person?
Right. Those who are allowed to break the fast or not to fast in the month of Ramadan, the traveler is allowed. The sick person is allowed, but the sick person is of two types. One who is suffering of sickness that can be cured in a while, maybe a day, 2, 3, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but not lifetime. This kind of sick person is allowed to break the fast in Ramadan and make up those days after Ramadan, not necessarily to be in sequence, but he can fast some days and break some days, up to him. The second sick person is the one who the doctors say he is not allowed to fast forever. Then this person, he feeds a needy for each day. A needy for each day. Whether in Ramadan or after Ramadan, up to him, but should not be before Ramadan, because the kafara must start when the ibadah is started, not before it. So these are three kinds of people who are allowed to break the fast. There is a fourth one, which is an old man or old woman who are able to fast, but their age and health do not help them. They will be all day lying down, weak. Then such kind of people are allowed to break the fast and feed the needy for each day instead. The fifth is the woman who is in menses or bleeding after giving birth. They cannot fast even if they wish. It is forbidden for them to fast, as it is forbidden for them to pray. But after Ramadan, they have to make up the days that they missed. The sixth type is a woman who is either pregnant or breastfeeding and finding it difficult to fast. Then they are allowed to break the fast and feed a needy for each day and no make up of those days. I wish that is clear.
Shaykh, inshallah, there's okay. There's one more question, or maybe two more questions, inshallah.
No problem.
One of them is when doing the Taraweeh prayer, then after the first four, in between the prayers, is it permissible to give like a reminder?
It is not from the Sunnah to give a reminder in between the rak'at of Taraweeh. The Prophet ﷺ didn't do it. The Sahaba, never any one of them done it. So that's why the ulama said that it is not from the Sunnah. It is not from the Sunnah to do a reminder between the Taraweeh. They they give some time to rest, to drink, like that. So they say, no, it is not allowed, or it is not Sunnah to do a reminder after or in between the Taraweeh. If there is a necessity for one day or something like that, if they saw something, if the Imam saw something, or he can give a reminder, no problem. But not something regular every day, because it becomes Sunnah then. And it is originally not from the Sunnah. Now.
Tayyib, Jazakallah khair. The other question is, and then there's two more, and then inshallah ta'ala that would be it, bi'idhnillah. The difference between someone making the Taraweeh prayer and then praying half of that or some of that, and then going home saying that they're going to make Qiyamul Layl. What's the difference?
No, that Qiyamul Layl, Taraweeh, Tahajjud, it's all different names for one thing, one prayer. All these names is for the prayer between Isha and Fajr. But the one who pray half of the Taraweeh with the Imam and go home and continue praying there is making a big mistake. And he is not receiving the reward given for praying behind the Imam. And that is not from the Sunnah. That is not from the Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man qama khalfa imami hatta yansarif, kutiba lahu qiyam layla." He whoever stands behind the Imam until the Imam finishes the prayer, whether one Imam, two Imams, three Imams, that is not the case. And some people say, if the masjid has two Imams, then I pray behind the first, and if the first finishes, then I leave before the second starts. That is wrong understanding. That is not the understanding of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Imamihi, his Imam means the whole prayer, not one individual, one person. As for example, if you are praying in a obligatory congregational prayer, and the Imam after 2 rak'at of Isha, he broke his wudu, so he will leave and pull one from behind to lead. These are two different Imams. Will you leave the Salah because the first left? Definitely no. So the meaning of it is to continue behind the Imam of Taraweeh until the whole Taraweeh is finished. So by that you are given the reward of praying all night. And then when you go back home, better use the time in reciting Quran and making dhikr and making dua. That is better for you. Wallahu a'lam.
The next question, inshallah ta'ala.
Yeah, Shaykh, can a woman, if they can't make it to the masjid to pray the Taraweeh in Jama'ah, can they, and if they pray, so can they pray Taraweeh at home? And if they do so, can they have the pages open, like the Mus'haf open in front of them while they're praying for the woman? Is there any difference?
As we said, there is no difference between men and women in reading from the Quran, from the Mus'haf. If the Imam, female Imam who is leading, or even male Imam can lead, like Aisha radiallahu anha used to have a child of 7 years who used to lead them in the night prayer, lead the woman, Aisha and the rest of the women in the house in the night prayer. So it's no problem to carry the Mus'haf if that Imam does not is not memorizing, she does not memorize the Quran. Or if she memorizes the Quran, if she's someone who memorizes the Quran, but no one behind her memorizes, she can assign someone to carry the Mus'haf, follow up, maybe she make mistake. But praying in home for women is something preferable, as the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تمنعوا إماء الله مساجد الله. Do not prevent the female slave of Allah from the houses or the masajid of Allah. And then he said, وَبُيُوتُهُنَّ خَيْرٌ لَهُنَّ. And their homes is better for them. Better in what? Better in reward. Better in reward. So the prayer in the hotel in Mecca or Medina, hotel that is opposite of the Haram, praying in the hotel is better than praying in the Haram. Or whether it is obligatory or Taraweeh or whatever. Better. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said that. But when she prays in the house, she prays, either she is reciting, if she is praying by her own, or she is an Imam, or she is praying behind an Imam. Imam meaning one with them there, leading them, not with the Imam of the masjid. Not with the Imam of the masjid. La, Imam of the masjid is Imam for those who are in the masjid. Whether in the masjid meaning inside the four walls of the masjid, or if the masjid is full and they are outside of the masjid, they are still following the Imam of the masjid. But if they are in houses, they cannot follow the Imam, even if they hear him from the house, because Aisha radiallahu anha used to hear the Prophet ﷺ. Her house is innocent to the one wall separate between her house and the masjid. But she did not used to pray behind the Prophet ﷺ from her house. Na'am, wallahu a'lam.
The next question, inshallah.
Last question, ya Shaykh, barakallahu feek.
No problem.
As it relates to the one who has to who has to feed a fasting person because they are unable to fast. The manner of doing so, can they do it where they feed fasting people within groups till they reach 30? Like say they want to 15 people one day and then 15 people the next day, and that should cover them for the month of Ramadan, or are they to do it day by day?
La, they can't even feed 30 people in one day, no problem. But the important is these people are poor, not giving iftar in the masjid, and they consider that, oh, we gave. La, because the iftar is not necessarily to be given to poor. So you give it to poor people, whether it is iftar or not iftar, but the important is that it is poor people, and it must be either a meal, a complete meal that makes one feel full, or a half, 1.5 kg of rice, for example, or grains, or something like that. Half a sa'. Half a sa'.
Now, barakallahu fiqh, ya Shaykh. Shaykh,
Ameen.
I'm sorry, I have one last question, bi'idhnillah ta'ala.
No
And
problem.
that is, as relates to the Taraweeh prayer and having one of the children lead the prayer, because some of the children memorize the Quran. So, at what age should we allow it, or is it allowable at all?
It is allowed all at all if he is someone who knows the rulings of prayer and he does not play. Because Amr ibn Salama used to lead the people in Masjid al-Qiblatayn when he was 7 years old,
No.
because he has more Quran than them, than the elderly. So it is no problem the age, but the important is that he knows the rulings of Salah, the fiqh of Salah, and he memorizes. Now,
Jazakallah khair, barakallah fikum, Shaykh.
Ameen wa
May
iyyakum,
Allah Azza wa
fikum
Jal
barak.
bless you and your family and give you all Jannah
Ameen.
ta'ala. Inshallah, I'll be talking with you soon, bi'idhnillah.
بإذن الله حياكم الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. No. Tell us I need to come and shut it down. I need him to shut it. Oh, come on. You got it.
Are you gonna finish answering them questions that people that might not